Protests swell across the country over the deadly shooting in Minnesota by ICE agents. Another shooting by federal agents is rocking the nation this morning.
This time, 2 people were shot in Portland by Border Patrol officers. This happened during an attempted traffic stop yesterday afternoon. Homeland Security claims when Border Patrol agents identified themselves, the driver tried to run them over and an agent fired one defensive shot. As we've seen in Minnesota this week, local leaders in Oregon are calling into question the actions of ICE and Border Patrol officers.
Federal agents at the direction of the Department of Homeland Security are shattering trust. They are hurting people and they are destroying day by day what we hold dear.
This morning, we have team coverage following these developing stories. King 5 Savannah Welch has the latest on local vigils and protests. But first, let's get to Drew Andre live in Portland this morning.
He's outside the ICE detention facility there, which is again at the center of protests. Drew, what's the latest?
No, right, Shantae, last night there were people that gathered here to demonstrate outside the ICE facility and also over at Portland City Hall, too. Portland's police chief said last night that this city has been tested over the last year and they deserve accountability and peace. That shooting took place about 7 miles away from here over in southeast Portland. The federal government says this all started with a targeted traffic stop yesterday around 2 p.m. NBC reports the stop was part of a special operation by federal agents. Homeland Security says one of their Border Patrol agents fired at the car they were trying to stop. The feds allege the 2 people in the car were from Venezuela with ties to gangs, an alleged prostitution ring, and a recent shooting in Portland. In a statement, DHS claimed, quote, when agents identified themselves to the vehicle occupants, the driver weaponized his vehicle and attempted to run over the law enforcement agents. Fearing for his life and safety, an agent fired a defensive shot. Note there that DHS referred to a single gunshot being fired, but one witness told local media he heard about 5 gunshots. Portland police say a man and a woman were hit and they remain in the hospital with gunshot wounds. Portland's mayor and other state leaders spoke last night. He said this community deserves accountability and peace.
We know what the federal government says happened here. There was a time when we could take them at their word. That time is long past. That is why we are calling on ICE to halt all operations in Portland until a full and independent investigation can take place.
And this was the scene outside of the ICE facility here last night. Portland police say they took 5 people into custody on charges including riot, disorderly conduct, and interfering with a police officer. Another person was arrested for disorderly conduct. Now, the identity of those 2 people that were shot has still not been released as of this morning. It appears the FBI will be leading the investigation, but Oregon's Department of Justice does plan to launch a formal investigation. We're live in Portland this morning. Drew Andre, King 5 News.
Thanks for that, Drew. Well, we've also obtained audio from emergency dispatch in Oregon as the initial 911 call came in reporting a man and woman had been shot. Here's a clip from that call.
Police are en route. It looks like caller saying that he was shot twice by ICE and his wife was shot as well. They have a male who was shot twice in the arm and his wife who was shot in the chest.
As we mentioned, it was later learned that it was Border Patrol involved in the shooting, not ICE. Paramedics on scene said the woman who was shot in the chest was alert on the way to the hospital.
A local demonstration in response to the shootings gathered hundreds at the Seattle waterfront last night.
King 5 Savannah Welch is live with the latest. Savannah, what are they saying?
Good morning, Jake and Shantae. Yeah, hundreds of people gathered here at the waterfront late last night at Pier 58, but not just here. It was also in West Seattle as well. It was part protest, part vigil. People speaking out against what happened in Minneapolis and Portland, and also mourning the life of Renee Good, the mother who was shot and killed by an ICE agent just days ago. The gathering here at Pier 58 last night, that was put together by local protest groups who say this was about standing with the Minneapolis community and with the immigrant communities across the country. At one point last night, someone set an American flag on fire, a jarring and symbolic act of protest of the U.S. government and its policies. One man we spoke with said the events over the last few days have only deepened his anger and frustration. Here's what he told us.
I don't think my fire can get any hotter. I think it's been burning this level for quite some time. It does, I mean, the idiocracy that comes out of them is just nonstop horrificness.
This protest followed another anti-ICE demonstration 2 nights ago. That one was at the federal building in downtown Seattle. We could see more protests in the coming days. Organizers are talking about taking action nightly. They say they want to keep pressuring the U.S. government and keep their message loud and clear. In Seattle, Savannah Welch, King 5 News.
Savannah, thank you. We'll watch for that later today as well. Now to the latest in Minneapolis. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has declared today a day of unity in the wake of Wednesday's federal shooting of a woman by an ICE agent. The governor is asking for Americans to remember 37-year-old Renee Good, the mother of 3 who was killed. Protests again flared up yesterday in Minneapolis as the Trump administration urged even more federal agents into the city against the wishes of residents and local leaders. Governor Walz has put the state National Guard on standby in case things escalate. Yesterday, federal authorities denied state investigators access to the evidence, claiming the FBI alone has authority to investigate the shooting. Former King County Sheriff John Urquhart called the move very unusual.
And that's just one more step that destroys the credibility of the investigation. Let's say that at the end of the day, the ICE and the FBI is going to say, oh, this was a justified shooting. Who is going to believe that?
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison has not ruled out the possibility of state charges against that agent. Federal officers can be prosecuted for state crimes if it's determined their actions were, quote, unreasonable and outside the scope of fulfilling their official duties. The agent who fired the shot has now been identified as Jonathan Ross, a member of the ICE's special response team. DHS revealed that he was injured last summer while trying to make an arrest in Minnesota. He was dragged by a fleeing driver after smashing a window to apprehend the suspect. Coming up at 5:45, we're going to check in live with our team in Minneapolis on the ground this morning. There's a lot going on, as you can see, in Minneapolis and Portland and across America, with Americans calling for justice. We'll keep you updated. You can stream coverage, remember, on our King 5 Plus platform 24/7. Download on your TV and watch for free.